Well, this is great news for the housing market. Construction of new homes skyrocketed last month, jumping nearly 16%. After 2 months of declines, the numbers are offering hope that the housing market is regaining momentum. We wanted to know how construction here in West Michigan compares to what the rest of the country is seeing. Emily Lubbers is the executive officer for the Home Builders Association of Greater Grand Rapids. She joins us in studio tonight. Emily, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Are we seeing an uptick here? Does it correlate, I guess, to what we're seeing nationally?
Yes, Kent County has had a great year for new home construction so far. It started a little late. The first 5 months of the year were a little less than what we projected, but the summer months, you can see in the June and July numbers that are helping us get to our close to our projections for year end. We're hoping this year will be another 36% increase over last year, which last year we saw similar numbers. So it just keeps going up, trying to get back to our normal levels of new home construction to meet the demand for the market.
We had nowhere to go but up after the crash.
Yes.
And when you look at the housing in this area in particular, you mentioned the weather. It was a slow start to the season. How are you able to extrapolate some of the numbers to show real growth outside of maybe we just got a late start?
Sure. Well, you know, we see for just normal population growth, job development, there's a certain amount of new home construction that is needed. Plus, combined with low inventory of existing homes, it's pushed a lot of people into new home construction. So all those factors are kind of contributing to the growth this year. But, you know, it's definitely, the proof is in the pudding. The numbers are really fantastic.
Interest rates are still pretty reasonable if you want to finance and that kind of option.
Absolutely.
So folks do have some wiggle room if they want to build.
Yes.
What are some of the hot areas that you're seeing here in West Michigan?
Strong school districts, you know, Byron Center, Rockford, Caledonia, those are areas where there's lots of growth the last year or two. We're also starting to see more migration into the city as lots become a little bit more difficult. There's not as many developable or developed lots out on the outskirts. That's becoming more scarce for builders, so they're looking at other alternatives and trying to meet the needs of the new consumer, which likes the walkability and being center city. So it's kind of neat to see the market evolve that way.
Affordability is always an issue too, and providing housing for low-income families. Are you making strides in that area at all?
We are, and I think people don't really understand, but the Home Builders Association is really intent on making sure that housing remains affordable for everyone. So a lot of what we do is to monitor those kind of regulations that generally increase the median level of housing cost for the buyer. So we want to make sure that home ownership is an option for those buyers who it's right for.
Yeah, well, it's such a, like we were just saying, it is the flower in which everything else springs here in the economy. It means so much to have housing back because everything else seems to grow around it.
Right. We've seen for Kent County, each new home constructed produces the equivalent of 3 full-time jobs. So that's real numbers. That's real economic growth here. So it's a big part of our industry.
Emily Lubbers,
Thank
the
you.
Home Builders Association. Thanks for coming in.